Hello YouTube, this is Ty376 and welcome back to yet another edition of Stories from the Friendzone. It's the segment where we go to the Friendzone subreddit. Why? Because we have a very limited amount of time on this earth. And that time should not be spent wasted. Or spent wasted worrying about whether that girl likes you. Or what if she's going to reject me. And then a lot of this other dumb shit that you guys post about. And boy, you guys have been in there. You guys have been in the fucking friend zone. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long, because you guys you're still in there. And that's why we're here, because we're here to help the kids. And we're here to help them get out. Friend zone. So, as you can probably guess, I'm stuck in a friend zone. I'm friends with this girl for a while now. We are talking to each other every day for the past 6 months. There wasn't a day that we haven't talked, and I'm usually the one that messaged her first. She broke up with her boyfriend 5 months ago. I was there for her whenever she wanted to talk. I'm afraid to tell her how I feel in case she won't talk to me ever again. Any help is needed, please. Oh, well, just tell her. Who cares? What is it? What's the problem? Nothing. You're her gay best friend at this point. Just tell her that you like her, and then she's not gonna go for it, and then move on. Could it the Brozone? Honestly, I don't know where to start. I've been with her ever since the start of high school, and now we're in university. For the past 2 years, we would get pretty close and talk about random things, organize events together, and play the same games. I would say that best of all is when we would always hit each other up with Skype messages and texts, making horrible jokes and laughing at our pitiful attempts. Life was great. I don't know when I started developed feelings, but it was gradual. The times we spent together made me open up and comfortable. It's almost as if I have found my other half. However, it all came crashing down when she mentioned me as a bro. It hit me hard that she has viewed me as her bro the whole time. Not saying that it's unfair or such, but it's kind of sad that it ended up this way. Anyone here have similar experiences that they would like to share? Me personally, no. But you said that you've been with her ever since the start of high school. You haven't been with her. I guess you guys have been friends. And also, it's dangerous opening up and being comfortable with girls that's just your friend. You know what I mean? If you're building a friendship with a girl and you're opening up and getting comfortable and, you know, letting her know about all of your flaws and other, you know, unsolvable teenage problems, she's gonna view you that way. She's gonna view you as more of a best friend. That person, oh, I can talk to about anything. Oh, you'll listen to me about anything, because you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna spend a bunch of her time talking about, you know, feelings and stuff like that, and she's not really looking for that in a boyfriend. She sees you as a bro because, you know, you guys talk to each other as if you were brother and sister, instead of as if you were a guy that was trying to date her and be her boyfriend. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to like to open up and be comfortable with a person that you've been with for a while. You know, if she's your girlfriend, then yeah, it's okay to show a little bit of that vulnerability there. But you don't want to spend a bunch of your, you know, friendship for 2 years with some girl that you want to date. You don't want to be opening up to her because, well, I mean, you guys already been friends. I mean, you're in the bro zone, dude. What can I say? If I had anything to say about this, I'm surprised that Skype is as popular as it is, because back in the day we had AOL Instant Messenger, and they were just starting to do the whole video chat thing, and it was shitty. You had your webcam that was, you know, what resolution were those things? It had to have been like 480 by 320 or something like that. and it looked like shit. We're talking less than a megapixel of camera quality, and this is going over dial-up internet. Now it's all HD. But do you still, like, assign special sounds to, like, the person? So, like, when they sign on, you hear that sound. You're like, oh, my crush is on. And then you run over to the computer. And then you, like, you know, start opening up to her and being comfortable. And then play, like, League of Legends or some other girly game. You're in university. Forget about this girl. You know, okay, she's a cool friend. You know, maybe you can get her as a wingman. No, don't do that. I've already explained why that's a bad idea. But you're in university, dude. There's hot chicks all around you. You don't have to be focusing on this one girl. Cool, she's your friend. In that regard, she's untouchable, and just view her that way. Okay, you're not gonna bang this girl. Start focusing on other chicks. They're everywhere. What should I do with this girl? Interesting situation. So I became friends with this girl ages ago by hanging out with her in a group of friends. In the beginning, it was purely a friendship thing because she just went through a hard breakup and didn't really trust guys act. We kept in contact a bit through text, but that was all. Eventually, we went on what she would refer to as a date on Valentine's Day, where I felt we somewhat connected, but maybe just as friends. Am not sure. We only talked as it was a lunch date. This was also the first and last time I've seen her by myself. Anyway, I told her about this, and she said she felt a bit of a connection too. She also was afraid we would end like her last boyfriend, and said stuff like, if we try this, we must promise not to end on bad terms, ect. Nonetheless, I didn't really see her for a while after that, but kept in touch with her over text. During that time, she started liking another guy whom she saw regularly at work. I sort of confronted her about this I asked her if she still felt the same way as before, and she said she didn't have feelings for me in that way, and that she wouldn't want to lose me as a friend. I wasn't really fazed by this, and just sort of contacted her less than before, but still kept some contact. Anyway, the guy she liked at work ended up completely blowing her off. She talked to me a bit more again after that, and wants to catch up. Her best friend has also messaged me about her recently, asking me when my next move is going to be, and saying that she could really see us together and that we suit each other, and claims to think we've liked each other for a long time. However, I'm fairly certain the best friend doesn't know too much about the whole situation, especially the guy at work. If this girl does want to be friends, that's fine, but I would only want to hang out with her in group situations rather than one-on-one. However, if there is a chance for more than that with her, then I would definitely give it a crack. The way I see it is if I hang out with her one-on-one, I may get a chance with her or become a best friend, which is really not on the cards for me at all because I have a lot of friends and at least 10 of them would come before her in terms of friendship, but I would be close to her number one. She has also come to better terms with her ex now, and I feel is no longer scarred of bad breakups. She wants to go get dinner with me next week on Saturday. So from the information I've just given you guys, do you think there is a chance for me? Do you think I just got friend-zoned because she liked another guy, and now that's over, the feelings could come back? Does that even happen? Basically, I want to decide whether it's worth seeing her one-on-one like she is suggesting, or whether I should invite some of our friends we used to hang out with. If I'm still in the friend zone, I would like to invite friends. If there is a chance I'm not quite in the friend zone, I will go one-on-one. What do you guys think? Am I still in the friend zone? Yeah, the best friend, her best friend that's like, yeah, what's your next move gonna be? And I can really see you guys together and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she's like that guy from Criminal Minds that's in 500 Days of Summer that's Joseph Gordon-Levitt's friend. And every time, Joseph Gordon-Levitt sees him, it's like in some indie coffee shop or something that's not Starbucks. It's like totally hipster, and the dude goes up to him. And every time he sees JGL, he's like, yeah, so, how's your love life, bro? Like, what do you got going on with this girl? Like, you're totally dating a hot girl, and then, like, he finally meets her, and it gets all awkward. She's like her. She's like LeBron James in that movie. By the way, when I mentioned LeBron James coming up in that indie movie, the movie is called Trainwreck. And it's an Amy Schumer movie, and the other guy that looks like Rainn Wilson, Bill Hader, I think. And LeBron James plays as LeBron James, wondering what's going on with the main character's relationship. As if LeBron James was that fucking interested in some random dude's shitty relationship they can't figure out for himself. That's the character LeBron James plays. I have to fucking see that movie. Now, normally, I would say something about, her being totally attracted to the dude at work, and then since he shut her down, now she's going after you again. I would say something about that, but the one thing that needs to be focused on more than that is, why are you trying to sabotage yourself? From what I'm getting from this, is that she's asking you to go on a dinner date with her, one-on-one. Why would you invite your friends to that thing if this was a girl that you were trying to get with? Are you trying to intentionally ruin it? We may not know the answer to, are you in the friend zone or are you not in the friend zone? But if she's offering to go on a dinner date with you, and you guys have a history of going on a date before on Valentine's Day, why would you want to ruin that? In this kind of situation, and really in all kinds of situations, you just want to assume that she likes you. So go on this date, whatever it is. At the end of the date, try to kiss her. Try to make something happen. Make sure she knows that you're into her, not just, so are we going to make this happen, or blah, blah, blah. Just see if it's going to happen. Your question is, you're wondering if you can give it a crack. You're wondering if you have a chance, so that way you can take your shot at it. Just imagine this as your shot, because that's exactly what it is. So you take it. Don't walk up to your shot and be like, so are you going to give me a shot or no? That's what it is. So make it happen, dude. Could possibly get out. Okay, so the girl I've been into for a very long, and we've always been very close, has now said that we should meet, kiss, and as happy and excited that I am, I'm also extremely nervous. What should I to calm myself down? I should also say I've basically no experience with women, which is why I'm so nervous of fucking it up. Well, before you guys go out, before you guys go on a date, smoke a bunch of weed, make sure that you're really high. That'll really calm you down. Okay, so I don't know how old you are, but what are you guys doing? Is this like a date? Are you guys going and seeing a movie or something? Or maybe maybe you guys are like, meeting behind the school or something like that. Here's what you do. Do something simple, right? Make sure, how well do you know this girl? But do something simple. Go for a walk or something, or maybe you can make it a group thing. Maybe you guys have mutual friends. Maybe it's during a movie. Movie's never really good for first dates, but, if your parents will let you do that, then go do that. And then when something funny happens, or when something interesting happens, or that moment where she kind of looks at you and she makes you think that she likes you, move your face towards her. Slowly. Just slowly start moving your face towards her, and she'll do one of two things. She'll either move her face towards your face, and then you guys will complete a kiss, or she will move her face away from your face, and she will have rejected you. And then that's when you know for sure if she likes you or if she doesn't like you. Now, if she's telling you that you're going to meet up and kiss, then the only thing that you have to do is just start moving your face closer. Preferably after a moment where both of you kind of realize that you're enjoying the same moment together. This was a shitty text I got last night. I see you more as just a friend, Anthony. I'm sorry, and plus I don't really do relationships. They're IDK. It's hard to explain, I guess. I'm sorry. Yeah. When girls do the I'm not looking for a relationship right now, they mean literally right at this moment. Like literally the moment where you ask me if I'm gonna be your girlfriend. That's the moment where I'm not looking for a relationship. It sucks, and, going along with it, girls give hints. They're not gonna directly turn you down. Especially if you ask them over text, dude. I mean, if they don't have to look you in the face, then they are gonna send you they're gonna send you a little hint, and they hope that you can basically fill in the blanks. It's hard to explain because she doesn't want to explain, having to let you down. She doesn't want to have to explain the rejection to you. She just kind of expects you to know what that is. And maybe that sucks, but it helps in that you can stop focusing on this girl and start looking around for other ones. In fact, you might think that there are a lot of awesome things about this girl and that she would be perfect for you and this and that, but there's one critical thing about her that makes you guys incompatible, that makes her a completely wrong person for you, and that's the fact that she doesn't like you. Getting out of the friend zone 101, step by step. Number 1, end the friendship. She has placed you in purgatory, and if your feelings are that strong for her, it's best to end the friendship because unequal relationships aren't healthy. It's not healthy for a person to feel unwanted, but then have to smile at and advise the same person that it doesn't want them. End it. Tell her, or him, I just can't be friends with you, so it's best if we don't talk for a while. Still be cordial and polite, just don't have any conversations besides small talk, and limit that, especially at the beginning. She'll undoubtedly respond with empty promises of the future and compliments of you having everything she would want in a guy. Don't respond at all. She'll go out of her way to talk to you, make you feel bad, and remind you of how special her friendship is with you and how irreplaceable it is. Don't get mad, lash out, or show any emotion. Just reiterate you need some space and don't think it's healthy for you to talk to her at this point in time. It's her prerogative to keep you in the friend zone, and it's your prerogative to end the friendship. Number 2. This is the most important part. No contact. No long texts when you're drunk. If she calls you, pick up, but don't engage in any conversation. For example, if she says, I need to talk to you, respond with, my mind's made up. I'm not having this conversation. This is the part where she'll do one of two things. She'll either be super nice, as an owner is with their dogs when they want them to behave and are offering a treat, or super bitchy and angry, how an owner reacts with their dog when they're frustrated at them for not behaving. Regardless, don't give in, which leads to the next step. Number 3, do you. This time away from her is not meant for you to be sad, depressed, or idle. Better yourself and start getting girls. If you tell a girl you're not talking to her anymore and she sees you as a best friend, it will kill her to see you in the gym constantly and to see her friends and other girls fawning over you. Work out, write, read, find your niche and better yourself because you've been locked in a dark, dark place for months and deserve a chance to break out and get that nut. This period is also the time to see if there's not something better. Focusing on yourself positively will reduce, if not eliminate, infatuation because you'll be too busy doing whatever you're focusing on. Number 4, don't stunt. Don't go out of your way to impress her. Don't go to her table at lunch and ignore her. Don't go up to her at the gym after doing a set of bicep. Treat her as an acquaintance no matter what you're doing. Casual hi and byes. You look good, dress well, and get your shit together and meet some nice girls without giving any indication it's for her. You want her to think you've moved on. Number 5, rekindling. Now after about a month, depends on every relationship, hit her up. Not a long text. Don't mention anything you did or the way things were. Hit her up being like, "Hey, how are you?" and have a normal conversation. She'll probably call you out on your past actions and just tell her you want to start fresh. End the convo there, and just like with any girl, start gradually. Fucking gradually. Don't spill your guts instantly. That's what got you in this fucking situation. Start talking to her and start macking from day one and see where it goes. This is not foolproof, but it's accurate. Don't stay in a friendship if you love that's friend-zoning you because you're hurting yourself. So a person can have their cake and eat it too. You're better than that. The funny thing about accuracy is that you can group your shots together while also missing the target entirely. And while I agree with you generally, first off, if you go up to a girl and say, "I have to separate myself from you for a while because it's just really hurting me seeing you with other guys," and then you go to the gym and like do your bicep curls and like work out a little bit, like she's not gonna care. It's not gonna kill her to see you in the gym. "Yeah, bro, I'm totally working out now, like getting a bunch of chicks." She's not gonna give a shit. And you're gonna contact her after a month of that? A month ago you said, "I need to distance myself from you," and then you call her up being like, "Hey, how are you?" And then especially after you call her up, or you, I guess, hit her up, as you gradually mac it on her, because that's not exactly what got you into the friend zone in the first place. Gradually is the slope that you went down when you dropped your ass into the friend zone. I don't mean to blast you too hard because you do make a good point. It's that you have to act like you're moving on. But it's the catch-22 where this girl that you're worried about is only going to be attracted to you if you actually move on. So you actually have to let go. You can't hit her up after a month. You can't hit her up after a year. You can't pick up her call and then say something like, "I'm not having this conversation because I told you we need to be separated for a while." And then there's like that weird silence and she's like, "Okay, well, can we just talk a little bit?" And then you're like, "Okay, fine. But I'm just gonna sit here and listen on the phone." Like, that's what you've been doing the whole fucking time, sitting there listening on the phone. That's not gonna do shit. Okay, if you're gonna go up to her and say, "Hey, I can't be around you because, how I feel about you and it kind of hurts, blah, blah, blah," fine. Go ahead and do that. But after that, you actually have to move on. You can't pick up her calls anymore. If you're gonna create that boundary for yourself, you can't let her break that. Because if she does that, she knows she can get at you at some point. She knows that you're gonna be calling her up in a month, being like, "Hey, how are you?" And then start gradually laying it on. "So, now that I got that baby swole going on, and like your best friend is asking about what my next move is gonna be, like she's starting to seem pretty interested. So what's your deal, babe?" It's not gonna fucking happen. Like I was saying, the catch-22 is that if you actually wanted to attract this girl, you would have to move on from her completely. Go ahead and do the stuff that you're talking about. Keep going to the gym. Start trying to attract other girls. Start focusing on yourself. Trying to find your niche. Put, some passion into your life and go do stuff that's interesting. You actually have to do that and then keep doing that. You can't go back a month from then, 3 months from then, and be like, "Hey, so I'm a different person now." No, you're not. You're the same person 3 months older. Help me escape. Okay, so this all started about a year ago. I met this girl, I'll call her R, and immediately I felt something for her. Her best friend, I'll call her K, was having a party at her house, and by that time, this might have been a month after meeting R, our mutual friends had deciphered my love for R, Anyway, people kept telling me to go for it and that she felt the same way, and at the party I started picking up signals, and then about halfway through the night I realized I misinterpreted everything R did. I was really confused, and my friend Kay took me in her room and I explained to her what happened to me. She told me I was in the same boat as her and she too had unreciprocated feelings for R. I was mortified, to say the least. A year passed and I became really close with both R and K, although closer to K than R because we would vent to each other about R. R liked this guy, D, who was also a friend of mine, so it was really tough for a long time for me and K. I decided one day I didn't want to go through the pain anymore, and I sort of just stopped talking to R for about a month or two. In this time, I got much closer to K, and we kind of ended up friends with benefits. I just began talking to R again within the past 2 weeks, and things seem back to normal. Actually, I feel closer to her than before. I told myself that I was completely over her, and I had no feelings for her, hoping my feelings would go away, and I told K I was completely over R. I may have told R at some point, I'm not sure. Recently, R and I play fight a lot, and we end up getting really physical, and it's kind of weird. I went to a party with her yesterday, and both of us got really drunk, and we just clung to each other and held hands and each other, and I held her while she fell asleep in my friend's car parked outside of a restaurant. But then D got to the restaurant, and she acted like she had to go pee, but she really just wanted to see him, and when I walked in, she was sitting right next to him, staring at him. She is really iffy about getting into a relationship, but according to D, she keeps making it seem like they'll be together, and then smothering the whole idea. It would only be for a summer relationship, however, because D is moving 4 hours away next August. Basically, I just need help. I really don't know what to do because I really love R, and I want her to be happy, but D is a player and I don't want her to be hurt, and I feel like she's sending me super mixed signals. I wish I could be with R, but I'm not sure she wants that. And she doesn't have many friends, so when I stopped talking to her, it really hurt her, and I care about her too much to do that to her again. I've been weird around her for a few days because of all this, and she's been asking me what's wrong. Should I spill my guts? Should I tell her how I feel and hope her feelings have changed? I kind of doubt that they have, but I have hope. I just really love her, and I need help because this is causing me a lot of mental strife, and I'm just desperately searching for a way to be with her or for a way out. Sorry for the novel of a post. Thank you. No worries. You were banging K for a while, I guess? What happened to her? And then R comes back, and then you just ditch her? Does K have feelings for you? Make sure that's not happening first, because if this thing's gonna happen where, R is chasing D, D's gonna deny R, and so now you're chasing R is gonna deny you, but little did you know, K was chasing you, and you have inadvertently denied her by going after R. I cannot believe that I just followed that entire story. But, you gotta be careful that to get what you want, you might be kind of fucking someone else over. And, it's just, to be honest, man, I mean, R is like using you as a fucking blanket in her friend's car outside of a restaurant, and as soon as, Big D is over there, like, she's gonna go running up to him. You wanna be around that? D might, get a little bit, and then he's gonna move away or whatever, and then R's gonna stick around you because she doesn't have friends, and, you're always gonna be there. What's the point of that? Don't be this girl's blanket. It's alright, so what do? Don't spill your guts. Don't tell her that you love her. You're definitely... What's wrong with K? You mentioned that you got closer to her while R is, fucking around with some other guy. Focus on her. Make sure that her needs are being met. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where you've been getting it for a little while. You might be a douchebag. And the way that you would be a douchebag in this story is that if you hurt you're friends with benefits feelings. If she had feelings for you, you got to make sure that that's not the case first, right? If you end up hurting your feelings going after someone that is actually going to be unattainable, then you are going to be the same person that D is, right? Because D is like some player douche who, like, you know, kind of bangs girls and then, bangs other girls and then leaves them. That's what you're going to be trying to do, right? Is banging this one girl and then you're trying to go after this other one. Aren't you a player as well? Obviously not, because you're in the friend zone, but you understand what I'm saying, is that you don't want to inadvertently be an asshole. Forget this girl, R. This guy's going to move away, and then no one else is going to be paying attention to her. D's not even paying attention to her. And then she's just going to fall back on you and then turn you into her blanket again. Don't be around that. I mean, if you're getting laid by K, you going after R and then getting denied by her is going to fuck that up too. So you might end up on a dry spell because of this. Just think about it that way. There is no plan, no rule, no right or wrong, giving up or not giving up. I wanted to write that for a long time because people forget one thing when judging others: your experience of rejection isn't the same as someone else and will never be. 4 years ago, after I graduated from college, I started to go on websites to meet people, and I met that girl. To be short, at that time I wasn't really interested in relationships, but it was nice talking to someone else. Over a month, she started to ask me if I can put the webcam when we talk to each other, and at some point she started to tell me, "You're cute, I like you, it would be great if we were able to see each other often." And over a month, not a single day passes without her calling me. And I have to say, at some point, I started to be interested in her. We saw each other a few times, and everything were great. But here's what happened. While I started to be interested in her, I expressed my interest. It was nice, according to her, and then she started to be more distant, to the point for weeks she isn't talking to me. And one day she tells me that she isn't feeling okay. I ask her why, and she started to complain about her boyfriend she started to date for a week and him being a jerk to her. Hearing that, I was confused and a bit hurt, but told her that she probably worries for nothing. But that's the problem. She started to talk about that to me and calling me every day, and later started to say that she will never meet someone like me. At some point, words said are what they are, and facts are what they are too. I was the targeted dating standard, but not dateable. And at that moment, I the world stupidly started to have a big crush on her. She was a cute girl, funny, we shared same interests and culture, and finally I was starting to be interested in relationships. To be clear on the stupidly, it was a time in my life where I had been unemployed for a year, living with my parents, seeing nobody, and what I had with her was actually the only thing I had at the moment. Her boyfriend finally broke up with her. She starts to hit on me, like we have to see each other, I'm a great guy, blah blah blah. Yes, I put blah 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 because at some point I like you, but you chose to talk about your boyfriend, on how he isn't like me, but you love him anyway. This continues over 6 months. At some point I finally end up with a job, move to the city, and finally asks her out. She accepts. We go to a concert in a month and everything's finally fine. Till the day she tells me she won't be able to make it to the concert, and then a week later, after stopping to speak to me for a week, she tells me that she met a guy, and she is very interested in him, but she is afraid that he doesn't like her. That day I was pissed, and told her what she actually wanted, that she had to be clear on her intentions with him, because that's her big problem, and I told her that at some point I was really in love with her, and the way she acted with me made me feel that, and at some point it would have been better to say, "I am not interested," than, "Oh, you're nice and cute, it's so sweet." I literally shot myself in the foot. and I was okay with that. Yes, I cried because, well, I am a human being, and I did what was right, even if I had to be painful. But the pain didn't stop, and had its burst the day of the concert we were supposed to go together. She actually went with the other guy, and she tells me that like that, knowing what I actually felt for her. Anyway, I moved on because it's actually the same thing to do. She clearly doesn't know what she wants, and I'll have a better mental state to be far away from that. It was a succession of bad timing, and I am interested, you're not. I am not, you are. To finally go nowhere.
What? What? Fuck.
So I took a month to get better after that, and finally decided to date again. I had met that Filipina. I had a crush on her day one. Important thing for the rest of my story, I met her because she was the cousin of the ex of my flatmate, who was at the moment dating his own cousin. Yes, Star Wars level story. And she knew my flatmate for a long time. So everything is going well. We see each other a lot. At some point I tell her that I like her, and at some point she kisses me. Everything's great till the troubles come. One day my flatmate started to ask me questions about my relationship, to the point where is interested starts to be a bit too invasive, and to which I replied that it is none of his business. In the meantime, I start to feel very comfortable in this relationship, and at some point I remember a day where I was a bit late and she didn't really appreciate that, but I apologized properly, and I remember that message that day that she was sorry to have overreacted like that, and she was sometimes a bit crazy, and my punishment for being late was to spend a lifetime with crazy her. We were joking, but words have sense. A week later, my flatmate asks me if I want to go to a bar to hook up some girls, to which I reply, I don't want to do that. I actually care about someone already. I'm not that kind of guy. The dude bangs his cousins, tells her he loves her, but bangs other girls all the time. And this was the biggest mistake of my life. I told him this: I won't ever go to a bar with you to hook up some girls as long as I have someone that I actually love. To which he replied that my girlfriend is lying to me about everything, about her age, about what she does with her friends, that in fact when she says she is with her friends, she isn't, and she sees somebody else, that he will do everything to break my relationship with her, even ask my other flatmate to fuck her. Problem: I am a 65 kg guy. He is a 84 kg muscle shitbag. I told myself, whatever. I am smarter than you, and I stick to my feelings. And 1 week later, he calls her, and I'm like, WTF, dude? To which he replies, I can call a friend if I want to. So I call her. She didn't reply. I send her a message asking if everything is okay. She replied that she is fine, and for a week she starts to be very distant. During that week, I went through the worst shit things that could happen. Someone broke my laptop, my tool for work. Then I got my phone stolen, my second tool for work. But I kept myself together till that Friday, probably the worst day of my life. We go for a pool game. She is very distant. She refuses to kiss me, and deep inside of me, I already knew why. We leave the pub. Outside, she stops me and says to me the 4 words, we have to talk. And then she started with, your flatmate called me last week, to then tell me she will never see a life happening with me, that I am too shy, and that according to my flatmate, I am not feeling well with the relationship, so it's better to split now. After having a terrible week, this was only the beginning of the end. I didn't break down in front of her, but when I was alone in the subway, that pain. A week passes, and I start to put myself together, and as someone who doesn't like to not be able to understand the whole situation, I decide to go see her without telling anybody, even her, because I couldn't have her talking to my flatmate before. I needed to see in her eyes. I needed to see her reaction. So she gets back from work, and I am here waiting at her bus stop, and I start to tell her my position. And the more I was talking, the more I was seeing tears coming from her eyes, to the point where she wasn't able to argue. I took every single thing she told me on me, and gave her a simple solution for every single thing. The way she reacted, I knew that my flatmate convinced her with bullshit, and she was realizing that she was so unfair with me that day. But the problem is that the harm had already been done, and to put a final step, her ex had contacted her, telling her that he was ready to talk, to finally say to her that they will never get back together, But I recently discovered that someone asked her ex to be clear with her that week. Very strange. Anyway, a week passes and I am actually happy. The reaction she had was the reaction I expected. Confronted to the truth, she didn't have anything else to say. That she will need time for herself. That nothing can be fixed now. That she can't be with anybody, but she will hang out with other people. I was okay to give her space, so we agreed. But it wasn't over. Some people are really evil. I had succeeded to fix things, but my flatmate arranged some of the most evil plan, making me see her with someone else. I knew that she was going to hang out with other people, but that, making me see it, I didn't need it. So I did the stupid thing. I sent her a message, telling her that she seeded to make me her enemy, that she could have believed me when I told her that my flatmate menaced me, to which she replied that I shouldn't blame others, and that I never want to hear about her again. Biggest lie I ever told, though. For 2 months, I try not to think about it, and actually the girl I was interested in before is free, so I see her, but here it goes. I feel nothing, like nothing for her, while I can actually see that she is interested, so I decide not to go further. And in December, I decide to contact my ex-Filipino girlfriend to go for a coffee, to which she accepts, and gosh, that day she looked at me like she wanted that, and we started to talk to each other again. In January, we have a party, and my flatmate comes to say to me, I am sorry to have put mess between you and her. You're the perfect guy for her. On that moment, I told him, it's not to me you should tell that, but to her, which he never did because she still doesn't believe me, and telling me that was his other way to make me suffer. Now I see her a lot. I badly want to go back with her, but it's just not easy. It's not easy when you know the truth could fix a lot of things, but you actually can't because nobody will back you up, and then she won't believe you, and you'll just look like the angry ex. And there's so much to say. A lot of other things happened, and I have 2 solutions. I could let go, but then I need balance, and to get balance, I need to retaliate to the people who just took pleasure to see me hurt. Then I will be able to move on, or I actually fight, staying fair. For now, I choose to fight because I cannot see me hurting someone else, even if it's the devil itself. Why I tell you that story? Well, just to tell you there isn't a definitive friend zone, there is no common story, every experience is unique and have its unique way to be solved. There are assholes around you, there are good people, there are bad timings, feelings that comes and goes, there are people less lucky, there are lucky assholes, there are good liars, there are actors, kind people. It's up to you to choose how to defend what you feel, or to let go, and nobody can give you a good advice, because for you, there simply is none. It's up to you to make the choice you take be the good one. It's not because someone tells you to give up that you have to. It's not because someone tell you you're an asshole thinking that you are nice that you're an asshole. You're the best placed to judge yourself. I did the mistake to let people judge me for too long, till the day that I realized that the people saying you were nice, the one who told you you were an asshole, and that you're an asshole thinking you're nice were the same people.
What the fuck was that? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. That story happened 4 years ago when he graduated college. So he was around 23 years old when that happened. And that story was written 4 days ago. So this guy's close to 27 years old. And he wrote that entire thing. Guys, that is going to have to do it for this edition of the Friend Zone. There's so much more to get to, but can't put it in this one. Thank you for listening. I hope it helped. And we'll get back to more Friend Zone posts when I see you next time.